This page is the cover featuring the intense fighting action of Killer Instinct Gold, highlighted by characters like Fulgore and Orchid. The magazine promises deep dives into key N64 games, with over 20 pages covering insider moves for Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, and Wave Race 64. Additionally, you'll find essential strategies for DKC3 and Marvel superheroes, along with codes for NBA Hangtime. There's even a chance to win a Kawasaki jet ski contest. The top banner declares the magazine contains the best strategies cover to cover. This page displays the contents for Volume 91, dated December 1996. It outlines the issue's layout, beginning with full coverage on major titles like Killer Instinct Gold, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, NBA Hangtime, DKC3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble Part 2, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and Marvel Superheroes, War of the Gems. The special features section highlights content on Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, including a comic and overview, along with a sports scene, and Wave Race 64 strategies. Regular sections like Player's Pulse, Counselor's Corner, and Pack Watch are also listed, offering the usual valuable insights and community interaction. This page is the Player's Pulse section, where readers write in with their thoughts and questions. The introduction teases the new multiplayer action of Wave Race 64 and Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. One reader shares a tragic story of their home burning down, but finding their Super Nintendo console survived, along with the game's ActRaiser and Super Mario World. The magazine offers a sympathetic response about the fate of other games. Another writer complains about games like Pac-Man, Defender, and Donkey Kong, asking why people care about them, to which the magazine counters that these classics revolutionized gaming. A reader excitedly shares how their brother found a great deal on a regular NES system for only $8. Another reader writes by candlelight during Hurricane Fran, lamenting the loss of power preventing them from playing Super NES, and asks about the selection of letters for the magazine and the potential for Sailor Moon games in the U.S. The response addresses both points, explaining the envelope selection process and confirming no plans for Sailor Moon in North America. Finally, a reader asks about a Japanese game similar to chess called shogi, and why it hasn't been released in the U.S., leading to a response about cultural differences impacting game releases. The page is filled with various reader-submitted illustrations. This page continues the Player's Pulse, diving into reader popularity. You'll find the latest power charts, crowning Donkey Kong Country 3 on Super NES, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening for Game Boy, and the groundbreaking Super Mario 64, leading the Nintendo 64 pack, which also tops the most wanted list alongside other upcoming N64 titles. A dedicated list even highlights the top movie-based games on Super NES, featuring classics like Toy Story and Jurassic Park 2. Readers weigh in, praising the Star Wars comic series running in the magazine, and celebrating the N64's quality over quantity approach, demonstrated by games like Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64. We also see a look at the N64's successful launch and a pitch for a Super NES RPG in the style of Super Mario World 3. Contact info for game counselors and product news is also provided. This page introduces Killer Instinct Gold on the Nintendo 64. Hailed as the main course after the Super NES version. The article highlights significant graphical enhancements, including dynamic 3D backgrounds that zoom, rotate, and feature interactive objects. A new aerial camera option provides a zoomed-out perspective during key moments like Ultra Combos. Nintendo's Ken Lobb discusses the game's deeper, more balanced combat system, stating the combo engine is easier to learn while the countering system requires more strategic thinking. Screenshots showcase gameplay and characters like Glacius, Gargos, Maya, Tusk, and Orchid, alongside a list of various stages available. Killer Instinct Gold is positioned as the next competitor in the fighting game arena, focusing on survival of the strong. This page delves deeper into the mechanics of Killer Instinct Gold, focusing on advanced techniques that build upon the core combat system. It details new moves like manual doubles, which add complexity to combos, and pressure moves designed to break opponents' defenses and build the super bar. The importance of super linkers for extending combos and preventing breaks is highlighted, along with the introduction of throws as a new tactic effective against defensive players. Juggles are also explained as a way to add extra hits at the end of a combo. The page also outlines the comprehensive training mode, Back to School, encouraging players to master every fighter, and rewarding completion with special uniforms. Finally, the developers from Rare discuss their pride in the game, emphasizing the balanced gameplay and the varying accessibility of characters for different skill levels. Screenshots illustrate various moves and the training environment. This page features character breakdowns for Killer Instinct Gold. It provides tips on how to play as and against TJ Combo, highlighting his new Air Tremor move, and effective openers like Roller Coaster and Skull Crusher. Glacius is discussed as a slippery opponent with improved Ice Lance and Arctic Blast, focusing on his misleading kick attack and Liquid Eyes move. Jago is presented as a well-balanced fighter, with a new Ninja Slide and stall-free Wind Kick, detailing tips for using his Ninja Slide and countering the Kripu's predictable auto-doubles. Finally, Fulgor's ranged attacks, the Laser Storm and Eye Laser, are emphasized, along with strategies for fighting against his Cyber Dash and his ability to become invisible. The page also includes a note on the game's art direction and the influences of lead artist Kevin Bayliss. This page delves into more Killer Instinct Gold characters, following the analysis of fighters like Jago and Fulgor from the previous page. It highlights Saberwolf as a strong defensive character with effective back-toward moves and a dizzying super move, while noting the CPU Saberwolf's relentless aggression. Maya is presented as a fast character ideal for beginners, with tips on using her Air Mantis opener and countering the Kripu's air attacks. B. Orchid is described as a versatile fighter, with new counterattack moves like the Tiger Slidebuster, emphasizing the Scissor Paper Rock game of countering. Finally, Kim Woo, a new character, is discussed for her speed and deceptive openers, advising on blocking her air fire followed by a split kick and breaking her jump-in combos. The page also touches upon the technical challenges of bringing Killer Instinct from arcade hardware to the Nintendo 64. This page continues the Killer Instinct Gold Guide, focusing on the returning skeletal warrior Spinal, who is frustrating but powerful, detailing his Skull Scrape and Skull Spear openers, and advising players facing him to destroy his skulls to prevent teleporting. Tusk, a new character, is highlighted as a powerful but slow barbarian lacking projectiles, with tactics provided for fighting close range using his backstab and longsword, and strategies against the CPU version include exploiting his range weakness. The guide then explains the counterintelligence system, the game's scissors, paper, rock mechanic for countering specific character moves, listing various character moves, and their corresponding countertypes. Finally, the extensive options menu is explored, noting that beating the game on higher difficulties unlocks more settings, and how toggling options like superbars can significantly alter the gameplay experience for both player and CPU. This page features an excerpt from Dark Horse Comics' Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire graphic novel. The comic panels depict Princess Leia and Chewbacca engaging with characters from the Black Sun criminal organization while seeking information about someone trying to harm Luke Skywalker. The accompanying text highlights that this is the third installment of excerpts, explaining that Dark Horse has been publishing Star Wars comics since 1991, expanding the universe with series like Star Wars, Dark Empire, and X-Wing, Rogue Squadron. These comics continue the story after Return of the Jedi, and readers are directed on how to find or order them. This page features more panels from the Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire comic. Leia and Chewbacca have cleared customs and are being led through a facility by Black Sun security. They comment on how long they've been traveling and how seriously Black Sun takes security, wondering how they'll escape. The panels then introduce the Falleen crime lord, Prince Miser, who greets Leia. The story continues Leia and Chewbacca's infiltration into the Black Sun organization on Coruscant. The next page of the Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire comic jumps ahead to that evening. Princess Leia and Chewbacca are still meeting with Prince Reiser, who suggests they dispense with titles. Leia is soon affected by something, likely Kaiser's Falleen pheromones, causing her distress. Chewbacca immediately reacts with protective fury, demonstrating his unwavering loyalty. A green alien is also present, discussing the possibility of the Rebel Alliance finding common ground with Black Sun, citing the Empire as their shared enemy. As events unfold, Kaiser reveals his possessive intent towards Leia. This page continues the Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire comic adaptation. Chewbacca is seen fighting off a droid while Princess Leia reacts with alarm. Leia realizes she must have been drugged, likely by the tea she was offered, which explains her prior state. She and Chewbacca understand they need an alternate plan to escape. Back with Prince Dazer, he continues to insist Leia join him, while she mentally focuses on giving Chewbacca enough time to get away and find help. The bottom of the page contains the comic credits and magazine details. This page features a deep dive into Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64. It highlights the game's place in the saga, bridging the gap between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Introducing the protagonist Rendar. The article discusses the game's plot, which involves helping the rebellion and facing threats like Prince Aix-Izer. Gameplay is described through pilot stages, focusing on vehicle combat, and commando stages for on-foot action, noting the multiple camera perspectives available in each. The reviewer expresses that the game successfully captures the spirit and feel of the movies, offering an experience akin to an interactive film with authentic Star Wars elements and sound. Screenshots show various gameplay moments, including piloting a vehicle and on-foot combat, as well as an iconic Cantus Walker. This page continues the deep dive into Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, focusing heavily on the commando sections of the game. It details the intricate controls for on-foot combat, emphasizing movement, aiming, and the ability to swap camera views for tactical advantage. The article highlights the variety of power-ups available in levels like Echo Base and Gaul Spaceport, including health, weapons, and special temporary items, as well as the hidden challenge points offering extra lives. A notable feature is the discussion of the enemy AI, described as intelligent and adaptive, reacting to the player's actions rather than following predictable patterns. Character spotlights feature Rendar, described as a scoundrel with a good heart, and the mysterious bounty hunter Boba Fett, detailing his significance in the broader saga. Multiple screenshots showcase the diverse environments and various enemies encountered in these action-packed stages. This page dives into the exhilarating pilot levels of Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, contrasting them with the commando missions previously discussed. It highlights fan favorites like the Battle of Hoth, where you pilot a snowspeeder using the iconic tow cable against AT-ATs, and the Chowdik speeder bike race through Mos Eisley and Beggars Canyon, emphasizing its incredible speed and the need to bump enemies due to lack of weapons. The article also covers the Outriders' role in asteroid field gunnery and later levels with full flight control. Different camera views and essential HUD elements like damage indicators are mentioned. The overall impression conveyed is the game's success in immersing players and its promise of excitement. A captain's log lists all the levels in the game and their corresponding type. This page kicks off the sports scene feature, highlighting sequels in the sports gaming world. The general sentiment is that while some gamers might want originality, these updates offer refined gameplay and updated rosters. The main focus is Madden 97, covered extensively for both Super NES and Game Boy. The Super NES version boasts an impressive 500 offensive play combinations, a salary cap system, motion-captured graphics, multiple difficulty levels, and the return of game modes like single game, season, and playoff. Winning the Super Bowl in-season mode unlocks historical teams. The article notes the game borrows elements from other titles and details its evolution from previous Madden games. Other featured games include Madden 97 on Game Boy, College Football USA 97, NBA Live 97, and NHL 97, each with a brief description and screenshot. The page is visually dominated by football imagery, including various game screenshots, and a prominent photo of John Madden himself. The next page continues the sports scene, diving into Madden 97 for Game Boy. While not NFL licensed, it offers exhibition, sudden death, tournament, and season modes with 32 teams, including a new Baltimore squad. It mentions a pre-game warm-up feature with strength analysis graphs, and allows programming audible plays. A drawback noted is the background music, which doesn't fit the football theme. The page also features College Football USA 97 for Super NES. This game isn't a sequel but includes all 111 Division I teams and guides you through an entire season to bowl games, including the Sugar Bowl and Rose Bowl. Up to 16 players can compete in round-robin tournament mode, tracking records. The review notes detailed score updates and the importance of rotating players due to an energy system. Graphics and button configuration are mentioned as potential shortcomings, particularly losing track of players on the field. The table details the evolution of Madden games on Super NES, highlighting changes in player count, save features, number of teams, receivers, NFL players, and memory size across different years. This page continues the sports scene, featuring NBA Live 97 and NHL 97 for the Super NES. NBA Live 97 is described as a realistic basketball simulation, focusing on authentic NBA players, teams, and realistic moves, offering a stark contrast to arcade games. It includes various modes, like exhibition, playoff, and full season play, allows player creation, and supports up to 5 players with a multiplayer adapter. Features like statistical summaries and a half-court practice mode add depth to the experience. NHL 97 is presented as an evolution of NHL 96, primarily distinguished by an updated roster and a new coaching menu for strategic line adjustments. While core graphics and gameplay remain similar, the game features licensed players, realistic hockey action, and includes season and playoff modes culminating in the Stanley Cup. Both titles provide detailed sports simulation experiences with licensed content and multiple gameplay options. This page shifts focus to Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey on the Nintendo 64, presenting it as a realistic hockey game and an outstanding reproduction of the arcade version. The article highlights that owning a controller pack allows players to save stats for multiplayer matches. It delves into the modes of play, explaining that the game offers versatile options including single game, season, tournament, playoffs, and practice mode. There's a section on Pick Your Season, detailing different season lengths. The playoffs mode is noted for its sudden death overtime format. Pre-game practice mode is recommended for perfecting passing and shooting strategies. The page also features screenshots showcasing gameplay from various camera angles and menus displaying Wayne Gretzky's career statistics, awards, and records. The overall tone suggests a feature-rich and realistic hockey experience. This page dives deeper into Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, focusing on multiplayer modes like versus com, 1-on-1, and 2-on-2, explaining how player colors help identify everyone. It highlights the game's 7 camera angles, detailing perspectives like low side, high side, and goal side that let you choose how you view the action. Team selection features top NHL players with rated abilities in speed, shooting, strength, and defense, allowing players to compete head-to-head or team up. The game offers distinct rink sizes, regulation for simulation-style 5-on-5 play where line changes are key, and the smaller arcade rink perfect for fast-paced 3-on-3 action or wilder 5-on-5 games. You can even settle a score with a fighting mechanic, offering a physical edge to gameplay. This page breaks down offensive strategies and techniques in Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. It emphasizes the importance of planning your offense, from knowing which opposing players are threats on breakaways to who excels at last-second shots. For shooting, the advice is to watch the goalie for openings and even use fakes. The one-timer is highlighted as a highly effective, almost guaranteed goal when executed properly with a quick pass. Passing is key to advancing the puck. Keep passes visible on screen and avoid sending the puck into crowded areas. Power play moves like the Humiliator, a perfectly timed shot, and the Flaming Net, an Arcadianly shot that can ignite the goal, are also detailed. The page also shows the rankings for the top teams in the Pacific and Central divisions. This page shifts focus to mastering defense in Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, building on the previous page's offensive strategies. It emphasizes using the seek buttons for various defensive actions like checks, hooks, and trips. You'll learn techniques to break up opponent plays, including interrupting quick shots and one-timers, blocking shots by getting in front of the net, and stealing the puck. Special defensive moves like the power slam and the arcade-only The Wall goalie ability are detailed, showcasing advanced ways to shut down the opposition. The page also lists the current top teams in the Atlantic and Northeast divisions. This page jumps into the high-flying action of NBA Hang Time for the Super NES. It highlights Midway's success in bringing the arcade sensation home, promising a blend of realistic player stats and over-the-top fantasy elements. The feature points out the improved computer teammate AI, which actually plays smart, and the deep in-the-game features like the extensive roster of NBA players and the ability to create your own custom player with unlockable power-ups. There's even a section dedicated to Code Breaker, offering cheat codes to enhance the experience, though the specific codes are presented concisely. Overall, the page conveys that Hang Time is a serious step up in basketball gameplay, while keeping the arcade fun intact. This page delves into offensive strategies for NBA Hang Time, building on the previous discussion of the game's features. It emphasizes that with the improved AI, players need more than simple tactics. Various plays are detailed, including the give and go for quick scoring, using a post-up to create opportunities, the importance of passing often to break defensive patterns and counter the AI's learning ability, driving going downtown for dunks or shots, and the new pick-and-roll maneuver to get open. The page also includes a list of recommended best matchup player pairings for different NBA teams, suggesting which duos are most effective together in the game. Screenshots throughout illustrate these strategies in action. This page shifts focus to defensive strategies for NBA hang time, highlighting that defense is trickier but more exciting. It emphasizes timing and coordinating players effectively. The guide covers key tactics, like using turbo defense to get in front of opponents despite the risk, stealing by watching for passes and using timely presses, and executing denied blocks to stop monster jams. Players also learn about push comes to shove, a foul-free way to disrupt opponents and weaken them over time. Finally, goaltending is presented as a strategic move to use when a player is heating up for bonus points. The page continues the list of recommended best matchups for various teams, offering pairings known for their effectiveness. Screenshots illustrate these defensive maneuvers and team matchups. This page provides expert-level advice for the challenging Wave Race 64 courses. It highlights how each difficulty level changes wave conditions, buoy layouts, and competitor AI. Specific strategies are detailed for Expert Mode on Sunset Bay, covering turbulent water and jumps. Drake Lake, focusing on navigating fog and a tricky pylon section shown on the map. Sunny Beach, explaining how to use wild waves to your advantage and anticipate turns near mines. And Marine Fortress, detailing how to use a shortcut canal and avoid floating crate obstacles. Screenshots illustrate the key moments, and map diagrams help visualize the course layouts and advised routes. This page continues the expert advice for Wave Race 64, detailing strategies for the game's more challenging courses. It covers Port Blue, explaining how to navigate the twisted tunnel and tricky jumps around the ship. For Glacier Coast, tips are given for handling ice and executing specific jumps in the slalom. Twilight City's section focuses on adapting to increased waves, navigating under barriers, and dealing with challenging jumps while avoiding mines. Finally, Southern Islands Guide highlights how changing tides affect obstacles and recommends different approaches for jumps at the boardwalk and shipwreck depending on the lap. Screenshots and course maps are included to illustrate the key points and recommended routes. This page dives into Donkey Kong Country 3, focusing on the Mechanos world. It provides detailed guides for several tricky levels, including Fireball Frenzy, Demolition Drainpipe, Ripsaw Rage, Blazing Bazookas, and Low Shag Labyrinth. You'll find maps and tips on how to navigate obstacles, locate hidden bonus barrels, and snag those valuable DK coins. The page also offers advice on tackling the mechanical menace, Kaus the Robot, explaining his attack patterns, and how to exploit his weaknesses for victory. It's essential information for anyone trying to master this challenging section of the game. This page moves on to guide you through two more challenging worlds in Donkey Kong Country 3, Cotton Top Cove and K3. Cotton Top Cove covers levels like Botz's Blockade, Rocket Barrel Ride, Creeping Clasps, Tracker Barrel Trek, and Fish Food Frenzy, offering tips on finding bonus areas and navigating obstacles. It also details how to defeat the boss, Squirt, by drenching his eyes. The icy world of K3 features levels such as Crevice Creepers, Tearaway Toboggan, Barrel Drop Bounce, Crackshot Croc, and Lemguin Lunge, providing strategies for mastering toboggan runs, time jumps, and rhythmic finishes. You'll also learn how to beat the snowman boss, Bleak, in a snowball fight, by adjusting your aim. The page provides screenshots for each level and boss encounter, helping players visualize the challenges and bonus locations. The next page delves into the challenging Razor Ridge and the mechanical depths of Kaus Core in Donkey Kong Country 3. Razor Ridge features levels like Buzzer Barrage, Confused Cliffs, and Floodlit Fish, offering tips on finding bonus barrels and navigating tricky platforming. The Kaus Core section details levels such as Conveyor Rope Clash, Creepy Caverns, and Lightning Lookouts, providing strategies for dealing with conveyor ropes, ghost barrels, and electrical hazards. You'll also get a brief look at Coindozer Clamber and the mind-bending Poisonous Pipeline. The page hints at the final area, the Lost World of Krematoa, and covers the intense boss fight against Barbos, the spiny Lurchin Mother. Finally, it summarizes the total collectibles you need to achieve 103% completion. This page of the Counselor's Corner provides helpful tips for players stuck in two popular games. For Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals on the SNES, it explains how to remove cursed items by visiting a church or using a specific potion found in the ancient cave. It also details the quest to obtain the valuable VIP card needed to access high-stakes poker. Switching gears to Super Mario 64 on the N64, the page offers strategies for getting the difficult second star on Princess's Secret Slide using a clever shortcut. It then guides players on how to drain the moat around Peach's castle by obtaining the big key from Bowser and stomping pillars. Finally, it covers how to recover Mario's cap if he loses it in specific levels like Shifting Sandland, Snowman's Land, or Tall Mountain, pointing out the creatures responsible for its theft. The next page dives into tips for a few classic games. For Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow, you'll learn how to strategically spend yin-yang coins for powerful attacks, unlock passwords by achieving a certain treasure percentage and lighting all fireworks in the Luau bonus stage, and get solid tactics for overcoming the final ninja challenge using the environment to your advantage. Donkey Kong Land 2 players get pointers on how to best king-sizing by striking his stinger while avoiding his offspring, and advice on navigating the parrot chute panic level safely by controlling Squawk's descent. Finally, a quick Q&A section provides fast facts for Uncharted Waters, New Horizons, Super Mario RPG, and Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2. This page features Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Super NES. The article discusses Emperor Shao Kahn's latest attempt to conquer Earth by resurrecting Empress Sindel, forcing humanity's champions like Raiden to face overwhelming odds. The game boasts an expanded roster with new blood fighters including Rain, Jade, Ermac, Noob Saibot, and Smoke, increasing the total number of playable warriors to 24. Key features include a new 2-on-2 tag team mode and an 8-player tournament mode. The game also brings more arenas and introduces the Brutality finishing move, described as a straightforward sequence of rapid attacks to finish opponents. This page delves deeper into Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, starting with the variety of finishing moves. Beyond the standard fatalities, it covers babalities, animalities, friendships, and the new brutalities introduced in this version. Performing a babality requires not blocking in the final round, while animalities need a mercy to be granted first. The page then offers tips on survival at all costs, emphasizing the importance of multi-hit combos and juggle combos for maximizing damage against opponents. Moving on to Let the Combat Begin, the focus shifts to specific combatants. The article highlights Rain, Reptile, Striker, Jax, Nightwolf, and Jade, detailing their unique special moves and finishing moves, fatalities, babalities, brutalities. It mentions Rain's lightning attacks, Reptile's force balls, Striker's riot gun and grenades, Jax's ground smash, Nightwolf's shield aura and axe uppercut, and Jade's invincibility and boomerang attacks. Finally, the Know the Code section introduces combat codes that can be entered on the Versus screen. These codes offer various effects, from disabling blocking or enabling dark fighting, to creating practice scenarios, or causing characters to randomly morph during a match, adding a layer of unpredictability. The next page presents a comprehensive look at many more combatants in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, detailing their unique fighting styles and crucial special moves. You'll find insights into characters like Noob Saibot and his teleport throw and clone, Sonya Blade known as a juggling demon, and Kitana with her fan lift for air defense. The guide also covers Kung Lao, Sector, Kano, Milena, Ermac, Cyrax, Classic Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion, highlighting signature moves like Scorpion's iconic spear, Sub-Zero's ice clone trick, and Ermac's devastating teleport punch. The text offers brief commentary on each fighter's effectiveness and suggests ways to utilize their abilities, such as setting up juggles or using moves for defense and offense, giving players a strategic edge in combat. This page continues the deep dive into Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, presenting more essential tactics and character breakdowns. You'll find detailed information on Cabal, known for his fast attacks like the Tornado Spin, Sindel with her disruptive air fireball and scream, and the versatile Smoke who can turn invisible and utilize a classic spear. Liu Kang's offensive prowess with his fireballs and bicycle kick is highlighted, alongside Shang Tsung's signature morphing ability, including the revelation of Rain and Jade morphs. The guide also offers crucial strategies for tackling the game's daunting bosses, Motaro and Shao Kahn, suggesting ways to counter their attacks, emphasizing patience and precise timing for victory. Finally, a special note reveals how to access the hidden fighter, Human Smoke, through a character select screen code. This page delves into the SNES title, Marvel Superheroes, War of the Gems. The page features prominent artwork of iconic heroes like Hulk, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. It sets the stage for the game, explaining that these 5 superheroes are on a mission to save the planet by recovering 6 powerful Infinity Gems from alien forces. The guide provides detailed strategies for specific levels, such as the Alaska stage, offering tips on handling enemy doubles and the challenging puck enemies. It also explains the various power-ups available, like different-sized energy tanks and packs, gem powers for special moves, and revives. Furthermore, the page gives tactical advice for facing the boss, Sasquatch, suggesting movement patterns to avoid damage. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay and enemy encounters discussed in the tips sections. The next page dives into 2 more stages of Marvel superheroes. War of the Gems. For the Amazon stage, it suggests choosing Captain America or Hulk, if you have the time gem, and advises luring enemies to one side of the river sections. It offers tactics for the Hawkeye fight from higher ground and navigating the laser platforms by taking out the pucks quickly. The Amazon boss is Wolverine, and the guide provides a solid strategy. Stand on one side of the platform and keep him grounded on the spikes below. Moving on to the Boston stage, you're reminded to keep an eye on your air meter in submerged areas. Strategies are given for dealing with multiple puck enemies, especially the tricky trio from a safe platform. Finally, tips are provided for the aerial assault against Vision and the final section against 2 Iron Men, recommending a high position to pick them off. The next page continues the guide for Marvel superheroes. War of the Gems, focusing on the Doctor Doom stage and the space base mission. For Doctor Doom's level, it notes there are 2 paths and suggests hero choices based on the path. It offers advice for navigating tricky platforms and dealing with falling spiked balls, recommending distance. The guide details Doctor Doom's attack patterns and suggests tactics like knocking him out of the air and staying low against his laser. Then, it moves to the space base stage, where you fight Magus and his henchmen. It highlights the need to quickly destroy a defense system, mentioning Wolverine's power attack is effective. Tips are given for the Magus fight, emphasizing hitting him while he's charging his plasma beam, or taking a firing position. Finally, it teases the remaining 4 levels, including missions on MT Vesuvius and in Egypt, leading up to a final confrontation with Thanos. This page features classified information offering tips and codes for several games. For Pilotwings 64, you can learn a trick to get free fuel in the Little States stages. War. 3,010 players are given passwords to access regular stages and unlock bonus games like Xanax Checkers and Invaders. Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run has a code to change the game time to night or day. Mortal Kombat Trilogy fans get codes for Random Select, Stage Select, and how to challenge the hidden fighter Chameleon, who possesses the abilities of the female ninjas and appears in the Champion Tournament. Lastly, there are codes for Realm providing infinite energy and the ability to skip stages. This page is packed with classified information, offering valuable tips and codes for a range of titles. For Prince of Persia, you'll find passwords to skip directly to later stages, helping you escape Jafar's spell. Iron Man and Exo Manowar players get a list of passwords to bypass early missions and jump into the action. Tetris Attack enthusiasts can access passwords for every stage in the first puzzle mode set, plus the secret code to unlock the hidden challenges. Tecmo Super Bowl II players learn how to recruit Hall of Fame free agents by dominating the Super Bowl. Earthbound explorers discover a simple trick to earn quick cash in Tucson. Finally, a special cheat code for Wario Land 3 is revealed, allowing you to boost your items and stats with a specific button combination. This page is all about giving players the edge. This page dives into Tasmania 2 on Game Boy, a fast-paced platformer where the Tasmanian Devil must rescue his family across 12 timed stages spread over 4 levels. The game is packed with dangers, from stinging scorpions to spear-wielding bushrats, and concludes each level with a boss fight. Taz relies heavily on his signature whirlwind attack and can find occasional special weapons. Tips are provided for the first 2 levels. Level 1, The Jungle, introduces timed challenges and secrets like hidden comic books and extra lives accessed by using level elements strategically. It also highlights a powerful item needed for the boss. Level 2, The Condo Caves, focuses on navigating labyrinths filled with unique enemies and platforming challenges like avoiding spikes. The guide emphasizes using the whirlwind attack effectively against foes and managing power, while also pointing out dangers early in stages. It's all about speed, finding secrets, and mastering Taz's abilities to survive. The next page provides a comprehensive guide to the latter half of Tasmania 2, covering levels 3 and 4, and detailing strategies for defeating the game's 4 chief challengers. For level 3, the Maze of Mines, tips focus on navigating the underground shafts, finding hidden bonus items by pulverizing stones, and mastering specific jumps to gain height and leap over water obstacles. Level 4, the Dangerous Desert, is presented as the final challenge, highlighting treacherous gaps and numerous enemies. Specific tips are given for easier sections, finding bonus lives via a cliff jump, and dealing with spear-wielding rats. The 4 Chief Challengers section emphasizes that timing and finding the special weapon are crucial for boss battles. Strategies are outlined for each level's boss. The level 1 Tree Trunk Tank requires hitting Bushlad from above. The level 2 Pterodactyl is vulnerable after laying an egg. Level 3's Axlegator can be hit when not holding his boomerang, and level 4's Bullgator must be attacked while avoiding his airborne assaults. Utilizing both the special weapon and Taz's Tornado Spin is key to victory. This page features 2 versions of the classic quiz show, Jeopardy! For the Game Boy, Jeopardy! Platinum Edition and Jeopardy! Teen Tournament. Platinum Edition offers a portable version challenging players with subjects from the 1940s, nature, and travel. It includes features like Cast a Spell for answering questions, Dueling Duos for 2-player action, and the climactic Final Jeopardy, where strategy and wagers are key. The game boasts cartoony graphics and the familiar Jeopardy! Tune. Jeopardy! Teen Tournament is also presented, described as a slightly easier version focused on basic knowledge and with more UX-centric categories, making it suitable for younger players. Both games include daily double opportunities to increase winnings. Factoid Face-Off highlights the 1 or 2 player mode for Teen Tournament, allowing category selection and character customization. Overall, the page suggests these titles offer a fun, fact-filled experience on the go, with Platinum Edition being more challenging and Teen Tournament more accessible. This page introduces the arena, where only the strong survive, highlighting various challenges and top player scores. There's a Name It Now timed quiz testing your game knowledge by asking you to identify 5 games based on characters and features like Mario, Yoshi, a casino, and Goombas, with a scale to rate your performance. The page features 3 specific challenges: capturing the best photos in Pilotwings 64, getting the fastest time down Princess's Secret Slide in Super Mario 64, and achieving the quickest run on the Riverside Racecourse in DKC 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Winners of these challenges could earn Super Power Stamps. Additionally, there are lists showcasing the top scores and best times achieved by players in games such as Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, DKC 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, Mega Man X3, and Killer Instinct. Instructions are provided on how to submit entries for the challenges, typically requiring a photo of your score or gameplay. This page offers a power guide to the latest releases for December 1996. It features reviews for 4 games across Super NES, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on SNES brings over 20 fighters, multiple modes, and brutal moves, though the reviewer feels it lacks strategy despite good graphics. Killer Instinct Gold on 64 offers a visually impressive fighting experience, with training modes, praised for its speed and graphics, but noting the analog stick takes adjustment. And Madden 97 arrives on Super NES, with updated rosters and a 5-player mode, receiving praise for its play selection and control, but little else is new. Finally, Madden 97 is also reviewed for Game Boy, a scaled-down version offering basic seasons and single games, noted for its Super Game Boy graphics, but criticized for poor music and difficulty seeing the action. An icon key explains various game features, like multiplayer modes and memory types. This page features reviews for several more games across the Super NES and Game Boy. Marvel Superheroes. War of the Gems on Super NES is a scrolling beat-em-up starring iconic Marvel heroes, offering unique special moves and a training room, although some combat can drag on. For sports fans, NBA Hang Time on SNES delivers arcade-style basketball with highlight reel dunks and improved graphics, while NBA Live 97 on the same console provides a more simulation-focused experience with updated teams, though it's noted as similar to the prior year's version. NHL 97 brings solid hockey action to the SNES with updated rosters and special teams. Lastly, Tasmania 2 on Game Boy offers a simple platforming adventure starring Taz, suitable for a younger audience. An icon key is also present, explaining various game features.
This page continues the review section, starting with Game Boy titles Jeopardy! Platinum Edition, and Teen Tournament. Platinum offers tough quiz questions for adults, while Teen is aimed at younger players. Both feature the classic game show format, though note the input method can be tedious. Moving to the Nintendo 64, NHLPA and NHL present Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey debuts, hailed as a brilliant fast-paced arcade hockey experience, with great graphics, sound, and four-player action, a must-play for fans. The page also includes the Power Meter ratings chart covering these and other games, like Killer Instinct Gold and Madden 97, along with sections explaining system icons, pro player preferences, and the IDSA rating system. This page features a detailed look at Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64, revving up for an early 1997 release. Shigeru Miyamoto and the EAD team are fine-tuning the game, which builds on the magic of the original, by letting players toss shells and drop banana peels in wild races. The roster includes 8 characters: Mario, Wario, Donkey Kong, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, and Toad. The game supports 2, 3, or 4 players in Versus Mode and Battle Mode. There are 16 Grand Prix courses across 4 cups, including tracks like Chocolate Mountain and Bowser's Castle, featuring banked turns, jumps, and obstacles. The game boasts texture-mapped 3D courses, promising a significantly better experience than the Super NES version. The control stick allows for special techniques like spin and drift, and Time Trial Mode lets you race against a ghost image of your best run. The article highlights that the Japanese version's courses are more varied than in the previous game, and includes screenshots showing player select, game modes, map selection, and various racetracks. This page previews 3 upcoming games. First up is FIFA Soccer from Esports, developed by ESA Canada. It's 64 megabits, saves with a controller pack, and features approximately 140 teams. The preview highlights 4-player action, multiple camera angles, picture-in-picture views, and detailed moves thanks to motion capture, aiming for a March 1997 release. Next is Cruisin' USA, a classic arcade racer published by Nintendo and developed by Midway. This 64 megabit game uses the controller pack for saves. It features a cross-country race route, filled with diverse environments and obstacles. The preview notes a turbocharged frame rate and mentions hidden vehicles, expected in December. Finally, Dark Rift is an N64 tournament fighter from Vic Takai. Developed by Kronos, the game features fluid 60 FPS animation, detailed lighting and shadow effects, 8 playable characters, 2 bosses, and various combo moves like grabs and projectiles. Described as a violent satire with humor, it's scheduled for release later in 1997. This page covers several upcoming titles and industry news. Loadrunner is getting a 3D action puzzle iteration on Nintendo 64, with screenshots showing multi-level mazes. The article also touches on the increased supply of N64 systems hitting shelves. On the Disney front, THQ is bringing several licensed games to Super NES and Game Boy, including a Hunchback of Notre Dame multi-game pack for Game Boy and games based on Timon and Pumbaa and Hercules. The King of Fighters makes its way to Game Boy as a tournament fighter, with 15 characters, promising a solid experience despite the platform. Nintendo's Shoshinkai trade show in Japan is highlighted, along with online access for updates. Harvest Moon, a popular farming RPG from Super Famicom, is slated for a North American release, letting players build a farm life and relationships. Finally, NBA Hangtime 64 brings the arcade basketball experience to the N64, with graphics closely matching the original. A release forecast lists various upcoming games for N64, Super NES, and Game Boy, with their expected launch windows. This page features a contest centered around the popular racing game, Wave Race 64. Players have a chance to win exciting prizes, including the grand prize of a Kawasaki 750ZXi jet ski watercraft, complete with a trailer, matching life vest, neoprene shorts and gloves, and a copy of Wave Race 64. The second prize offers Kawasaki water gear and the game to 5 winners, while the third prize rewards 50 winners with Nintendo Power t-shirts. The contest details how to enter via mail and provides the necessary address. This is a great opportunity for fans to get geared up for some real-life water sports inspired by the game. This page previews the upcoming issue,
highlighting a deep dive into Star Wars. Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64, promising maps, strategies, and coverage of the Black Sun crime syndicate. It also announces the annual Super Bonus issue, packed with tips and prizes for subscribers. The page features a report on the N64 racing game, Cruisin' USA, detailing a cross-country report, with a screenshot of the gameplay. There's also coverage of the Japanese Shoshinkai trade show, revealing upcoming N64, Game Boy, and Super NES titles, with a photo from the event. A section lists available back issues with their highlights. Finally, an advertisement promotes the Power Swap service, allowing players to get a replacement system for a broken one for $35 or less, showing various consoles like the NES, Game Boy models, and Super NES.